It took until age 82 for Louie Kemp to fulfill his dream of making Aliyah, moving to Israel from the United States after a long career managing his family's successful fish business. Kemp can also boast another distinction that few can claim. As a longtime friend, confidant, even occasional business partner of singer-songwriter Bob Dylan, arguably the most important and influential musician of the past half-century. The personal side of Dylan, still making music in his 80s, remains a mystery to most people, but not Kemp, who first met the young Bobby Zimmerman when they were growing up as young Jews in Minnesota.
He comes from a family, like my family, that were, spiritual Jews. They were conservative, but they were very spiritual. And he had his bar mitzvah, of course, like I did, and Bobby's words, right from the beginning, their songs were very spiritual. Him and I went to a Jewish camp for 5 summers, Herzl Camp in Webster, Wisconsin. That's where we met. But it had a profound effect on us. It was a Zionist camp. And we'd sing Hebrew songs, and it was a great experience for us.
The childhood friends remained close after both moved to the Los Angeles area, with Kemp even living with Dylan for a spell, becoming close to such common friends as singer Joan Baez and actor Marlon Brando, even bringing Dylan and the curious Brando to a Passover seder at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel.
At some point, the rabbi was on a stage overlooking the congregation. There's about 300 people there. And he looks down, he sees our looking at our table, and at some point he said, we're reading the Haggadah, responsive reading. He says, "Mr. Brando, will you do us the honor of reading the next passage from the Haggadah?" And Marlon said, "My pleasure." He stands up and he reads like he's on Broadway. It was amazing. People were clapping afterwards, and they were shocked that Marlon Brando was at the seder. About 10 minutes later, he says, "Mr. Dylan, would you do us the honor of coming up and singing us a song?" Well, Bob doesn't do that. He's out. He's on his private time. He just wants to be one of the people. So I knew he wasn't going to do that. So I was leaning over to him. Yeah, I said, "Bob, do you want me to handle this?" Before I could get the last word out, he stands up and walks to the stage. Which shocked me. The rabbi had an acoustic guitar and handed it to him. And he sang an amazing rendition of "Blowing in the Wind." The crowd went crazy.
Kemp himself became a part of rock history when in 1975 his friend asked him to step into the music business and produce the Rolling Thunder Revue, a concert tour featuring Dylan, Baez, Joni Mitchell, and others that has become legendary for its freewheeling impromptu performances in small venues across the United States.
So he said it'd be like the carnival coming to town, and then we'll just disappear. It's like when we were kids, when the circus would come to Duluth, that was like a big deal, And he wanted it like that. And I said, well, and then we start brainstorming. He said, "Yeah, we won't even tell anybody ahead of time where we're going. We'll break the shows 1 or 2 days ahead of time. We won't even tell the entertainers on the show where they're going. We'll make it a total mystery." So we're feeding off each other, like 2 kids in a candy store, living out our childhood fantasies of bringing it to this tour. And so he said, "You like it?" "I think it's great." He said, "Okay, I want you to produce it." I said, "What?" I said, "I'm a fish guy, not a music guy." He said, "Yeah, but you're successful. You were on Tour 74 with me. You saw how it works. You can do it." Then he gave me this line. He said, "If you can sell fish, you can sell tickets." I said, "Bob, that's a cute line, but it's not quite that simple." So anyway, he talked me into it, and I agreed to do it, and it was a huge success. The rest is history.
In the late 1970s, as Kemp began to transition towards becoming a more observant Jew, Dylan began what is called his Christian phase, introducing evangelical themes into his life and music. And although Dylan eventually moved back towards his Jewish roots, in part due to Kemp's influence, the friends eventually drifted apart. In 2019, Kemp published Dylan and Me, a memoir of his decades of friendship with the elusive musical genius.
So the stories that I tell in the book are all very positive stories. It shows the real side of Bob. To me, he's Bobby Zimmerman. He's not Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan is his career persona. I don't know Bob Dylan. I know Bobby Zimmerman, and that's what the book is about.
This past summer, Kemp moved full-time to Israel, joining a daughter and grandchildren already living there, and aided in his transition by Nefesh B'Nefesh, the Jewish Agency for Israel, JNF, and the Ministry of Aliyah.
But I decided to do it because when I was watching my people being attacked viciously and continuously from my safe, comfortable perch in Los Angeles, I said, what kind of Jew am I? I'm hiding out in L.A. My people are under attack. I got to go, show my solidarity and stand shoulder to shoulder with them. And I decided right on the spot to do it. And 4 or 5 months later, I came.
While busy with his new life in Israel, Kemp hasn't lost the love and admiration for his old friend.
It's obvious to me and to anybody that, thinks deeply that Bob has a big blessing and gift that was given to him by God. I mean, you don't write 600 songs like he wrote and accomplish what he's accomplished, including a Nobel Prize in Literature, without having the bracha and blessing from God. Now, Bobby knows that, because I had asked him early on a couple of times, how are you able to write these songs? And he said, it's all a gift from God. He puts the words into my head. I'm the scribe. I write it down. He gets all the credit. So that's what it is. It's a continuation of that blessing that Hashem is with him and gives him.